You have 17 subscription services on your phone right now. You know that. I know that. Your bank account definitely knows that. But here's the thing that stopped me cold when I first read about it. There's a 120-year-old Japanese budgeting trick that uses nothing but a notebook and a pen, and devotees and promoters promise it can help you save 35% on your monthly expenses. No app, no spreadsheet, no algorithm, just your handwriting. And the neuroscience behind why it works is kind of wild. Let me tell you about it to someone who really needed it. Meet Priya. She's 31, works as a project manager at a mid-sized marketing firm, pulls in about $4,200 a month after taxes. On paper, that should be plenty. In reality, Priya was ending every single month with maybe $40 left in her checking account, sometimes less. She had a gym membership she hadn't used since February, 3 streaming services she rotated between out of guilt, a DoorDash habit that quietly ran her $2,808 a month, and an Amazon cart that somehow filled itself at 2 in the morning when she couldn't sleep. She wasn't irresponsible. She wasn't reckless. We shop when we're bored. We shop when we're stressed. We shop when we're in a good or celebratory mood. And changing these habits isn't easy, partly because our spending is deeply cemented into our daily routine, and the act of spending includes an emotional aspect that's difficult to detach from. Priya had tried Mint. She tried Yin-A-B. She tried the envelope method for 3 weeks before the envelopes ended up in a junk drawer. Every system felt like homework. Every system made her feel like she was failing a test she never signed up for. Then her coworker Hana, who had lived in Tokyo for a few years, told her about something called Kakeibo. Kakeibo, pronounced Kakeibo, translates as household financial ledger, and was invented in 1904 by a woman named Hani Motoko, notable for being Japan's first female journalist. She designed it as a way to make a budget for beginners, specifically creating a system for homemakers to keep track of their household spending. And it has barely changed in over a century because, frankly, it didn't need to. Kakeibo is more than a budgeting method. It's a financial philosophy centered on mindful, deliberate spending and saving. It doesn't involve any budgeting software apps or Excel sheets. Similar to bullet journaling, it emphasizes the importance of physically writing things down as a meditative way to process and observe your spending habits. Here's the part that hooked Priya, and honestly, the part that hooked me too. The usual approach to budgeting puts math before mindfulness. That's a problem, because finances are math problems complicated by the variables of human psychology. Kakeibo flips that. Before you write down a single number, Kakeibo starts with a mindfulness exercise. Before you even crack the spine on your first ledger, the technique asks you to consider 4 self-reflective questions. How much money do I have coming in? How much do I want to save? How much am I actually spending? And how can I improve? That last question is the secret weapon. It's open-ended on purpose. You're encouraged to reflect and personalize the answer. Improvement doesn't just mean finding ways to cut costs. It might mean deciding to spend more on what you really enjoy and spend less on purchases you didn't value that much. Now let me walk you through exactly what Priya did, step by step, because this is where the magic gets practical. On the first day of the month, she sat down with a $5 composition notebook and wrote her take-home income at the top of the page, $4,200. Then she listed her fixed expenses. Rent, $1,032, $1,005 a week. Utilities, $1,032. A car payment, $310. Insurance, $95. Phone, $85. Student loan, $2,200. So she had $2,000 of flexible money. She then wrote down her savings goal and then came the daily practice, and this is the core of Kakeibo. After putting aside money for savings, you log your spending in your journal as it occurs, keeping track using 4 broad budget categories. Needs like groceries, clothing, and medicine. Wants like gym memberships and dining out. Culture like buying books and attending festivals. And unexpected or extra expenses like car repairs or an emergency vet visit. Every single purchase, written by hand, every single day. And here's the thing, she also wrote down why. As you record your spending, you write about why you made each purchase and how you felt. Were you feeling rushed or stressed as you were shopping? Were you giving into retail therapy because you were having a bad day? Did you buy something just because it was on sale, even though you have no room for it at home? Now, some of you are thinking, why can't I just type this into my phone? And this is where the science gets fascinating. A recent study in Frontiers in Psychology monitored brain activity in students taking notes and found that those writing by hand had higher levels of electrical activity across a wide range of interconnected brain regions responsible for movement, vision, sensory processing, and memory. A study of Japanese university students revealed that writing on physical paper can lead to more brain activity when remembering the information an hour later. Researchers say that the unique, complex, spatial, and tactile information associated with writing by hand on physical paper is likely what leads to improved memory. When you physically write coffee, 640, didn't need it, just bored, your brain encodes that differently than tapping it into an app. Writing by hand strengthens memory and learning through the encoding effect, where the effort of forming letters improves retention and comprehension. You literally remember your spending more vividly, and when you remember it more vividly, you think twice before doing it again. This is what happened with Priya. Week 1, she was shocked. She spent $47 on random Amazon purchases she couldn't even recall wanting. She dropped $38 at Target on things that were on sale. She spent $72 on DoorDash in 7 days. Writing it down by hand, looking at the words in her own handwriting, something clicked. It wasn't a spreadsheet lecturing her. It was her own hand, her own ink, holding up a mirror. What Kakeibo really did, that other systems didn't, was force her to think about her purchases and what motivated her to buy them. She was finally able to conquer her fear of being completely honest about her. By the end of month 1, Priya saved $430. That was $30 more than her goal. By month 3, she was saving $580 consistently. Not because she was depriving herself, but because she stopped spending money on things that didn't actually make her life better. She still ate out, but maybe twice a week instead of 5 times. She still bought books, and she actually put those in the culture column with zero guilt. Kakeibo isn't designed to cut all joy out of your life. Rather than requiring you to do anything drastic, the goal is to change your bad habits through mindfulness and incremental changes. Let me give you the real numbers. Before Kakeibo, Priya's discretionary spending on wants was roughly $1,100 a month. After 3 months with the notebook, it dropped to about $640. That freed up $460 months she was previously lighting on fire. Over a year, that's $5,520 back in her pocket from a $5 notebook. And besides the cost of pen and paper, Kakeibo's absolutely free. At the start of the month, you sit down and write out all of your income and fixed expenses. Once that's done, you know what's left for spending and what's left for saving. The savings are immediately set aside. That piece is crucial. This sets Kakeibo apart from other budgeting methods. Rather than looking at your spending first and putting the rest aside as savings, it asks you to prioritize considering how much you'd like to save. You pay your future self before you pay DoorDash. At the end of each month, you do a review. Daily expenses are recorded and totaled at the end of each week and begin at the end of the month. A summary of the month's spending is written in the ledger. In addition to expenses and income, thoughts and observations are written in the ledger. To raise your awareness even further, you compare what you planned to what actually happened. And then, this is the Kakeibo spirit. You don't beat yourself up. You aren't looking for points to criticize. You're simply making observations and finding small tweaks. This connects to the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which focuses on continuous improvement and encouraging an openness to change. Kaizen says that the best improvements are made when lots of little efforts are combined. Priya is 8 months in now. Her emergency fund exists for the first time in her adult life. She's putting money into a Roth IRA. and the notebook sits on her nightstand right next to her phone, except the notebook is the thing she actually picks up every morning. She told me the biggest shift wasn't financial, it was emotional. She stopped feeling out of control. She stopped dreading the end of the month. She started feeling like her money was hers again. So, here's what I want you to do. Tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Grab any notebook, open it to the first page, write down what you earned this month. Write down your fixed bills, subtract, then write down what you want to save, even if it's $50. And tomorrow morning, before you buy that first coffee, write down what it costs and why you're buying it. That's it. That's the whole start. At its most basic, Kakeibo could be thought of as slow budgeting, meaning it slows down the pace of managing your finances. And in a world that profits from you spending fast and thinking never slow is a radical act. If this landed for you, drop a comment and tell me what your first, wait, I spent H-O much on that category might be. I already know mine. It was coffee, obviously. Hit subscribe if you want more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.